Welcome back, heroes. Thank you for joining us again. Our heroes just learned about a terrible question that they must answer. Whether or not they continue on with their journey, their important mission to reach the center of the continent, or do they stop and waste a couple of days trying to save this village of 500 people. And we return back to our heroes in the elder Mortimer and his wife Clara's house. The halfling Dory Plumknuckle has just tried to buy your services as heroes, and you have refused. Jennifer has made her stance clear on the matter, and hero his. What do the characters do next?
We're not going to discuss this in front of the townspeople.
June actually will get up and she says, perhaps if you all will give us a moment, we can discuss this amongst ourselves.
Of course. Clara's going to, grab Dory and, pull on her. She goes, I'm coming. I can't believe it. She says as they walk away. Are we gonna die? The little girl says.
Closes the door.
You can't be serious, Hero says from the corner. How are you gonna be so heartless?
We're not leaving, she says.
If we spend 2 more days going and then 2 more days coming, if Yen dies, this world dies. I'm putting these 500 people against all of Ignos. Could you really sacrifice literally everyone for these people? I would like to save them too, but...
And yet, if you follow that logic, anyone can be sacrificed.
That's right. Even me, you, him, all of us.
Can I ask an out-of-game question? When we took on this quest, were we given a hard timeline?
No.
Okay.
It was just an extreme sense of urgency.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Also, remember there was the big explosion that took place in the Crystal Forest, which is why we're trying to get there.
Right.
I know these people are small and insignificant.
I never said that. Every life matters.
Just not quite enough.
You have to weigh the scales.
You don't know something's going to happen?
No, I don't know nothing's going to happen either.
I suggest that we interrogate the merfolk. Find out how they knew about this place. That being said, we still sent off the messages. There's a possibility that we will get a response back.
How are we going to even talk to the merfolk?
That's a good question. I can look inside him just fine. She wiggles her hands.
I understand merfolk's language and can speak it.
You can speak it? How?
I learned it.
From whom?
Merfolk.
I assumed.
They are very much dead.
Then we'll interrogate the merfolk. See what they know.
I'm just saying, it's an assured problem versus a possible one. We don't know if there's any actual danger.
We don't know that there isn't. And that logic can also be used for this situation.
Exactly.
Tell us your opinion, Roland. You have been in this situation far more than the rest of us.
Mission above all. No one's more significant than the mission.
Especially when granted by fate.
Hero looks highly distraught.
If we were granted assurance that our mission would be a success, I would say that perhaps we could do this, but we don't have that assurance. We don't have fate's backup saying that we will succeed. We have to do our utmost to do this. She actually looks upset at the moment.
You guys had to interrogate the merfolk?
We'll interrogate them first. And then we'll see.
However you would like to do it, I need an intimidation check on the merfolk.
She'd like to use ghost hands to reach into the merfolk at some point.
Before or after he is spoken to.
Chat with him first, I guess, if you want.
What is everybody's intimidation like? Intimidation remedy?
Mine's +5.
Mine's
five.
+2.
If you wish, you can't persuade him. So you can only intimidate.
So we're talking to the living one first.
Yes.
Alright, let's do that first.
Also,
Wait, I kind of have to do it.
You
gotta do it.
speak.
Can I assist you by being menacing?
Yeah.
Please, God, yes. I was like, wait a minute, I have to be it because I'm the only one that talks to.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to dictate terms here. So if you would like to try persuading, you may as well.
I'm going to make a logical leap and guess that June probably thinks that won't work. Will it? Like, would she think that?
It would be very difficult to know that answer. You may incite him with disadvantage.
I will try inciting first and then make the decision.
Okay.
I have a bit of insight I can tell you already. That maybe it'll work as long as she's not in the room.
That's fair. She
That would occur to
actually
Isaac.
will ask that either one, Ephemera, Captain, if you wish to be in the room for the interrogation, I strongly suggest you take that off.
Are you going to try to persuade the merfolk?
We have two chances if we do it that way. We can persuade first, and if that fails, there is always the more threatening and intimidating one, in which case your presence will be very much helpful. But if we try the less threatening version first, you will be a hindrance with that on.
Fair. Would you like me to try to see into his heart before you start?
We should probably do that last. Because you can do that no matter what.
Could she do it if he was asleep and not wake him up?
No.
Okay.
She can only see the heart of individuals who are conscious.
Oh wait, I can just... Hold on.
You want to see the heart. You don't want to reach inside him. You showed your hand the first time, suggesting...
I thought of that, yes.
You can see the heart with from distance.
But I realized I didn't want to show that I was doing it. I wanted to just see in and see if I could get any insight from
You
looking
can do
into it.
that no matter the situation.
I can't use friends because I can't speak their language. It sucks.
Can you cast it on me?
No, it's only self.
Damn.
I do have charm person.
Wait, what
and
level is
also... It is a... Doesn't say on this card.
Friends?
Yeah.
It's cantrip.
Oh, it is a cantrip, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, friends is
I'll
cantrip.
screw it up. How long does it last, please?
Concentration up to 1 minute.
I'll cast it on myself.
I also have suggestion and charm person if you think those would help.
You don't have all cantrips.
I do if I use a wish point.
You can do.
You're going wild with those wish points.
You use friends?
Well, in a second. At first, I would like to see
Insight.
if there's any
Go
chance.
ahead. Insight. Disadvantage. You go in.
Can I be aided to get advantage to cancel out my disadvantage?
You may not be aided on an insight check because nobody else knows how to talk to merfolk.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking to him yet.
The stance of merfolk would be something that only Jennifer would know.
Okay.
Also, Roland would grab your ear on the walk there if he could without anyone else hearing.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty if you need me to.
I will keep that in mind.
Does Roland consider these creatures monsters?
Well, mother of my dice hate me today. I have no goddamn clue.
Then it would be against your paladin of the
Well-
torture one.
Yeah, I guess he does then.
Wait, does he or doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he would see them as monsters then, because with the way they were eating people.
Okay. Sure.
7.
No, he's angry. That's all you get.
Okay. After
But
all this,
with the use of friends?
Friends doesn't help you with insight checks.
What about, do you have calm emotion?
I have charm person, friends, and suggestion. I think charm person would be the best one here.
I agree.
She's gonna give the bandana to Bali to hold on to, by the way.
Okay. Molly looks at it. She says, "Glad you're the one who received the curse from him."
It worked out. Hold on to it for me.
June believes this is this is important enough.
All right, he rolls a wisdom saving throw versus your spell save. What is it?
My spell save. Can I also use one spell point to give it disadvantage? I mean, wish point to give it disadvantage.
Yes.
My saving throw is 17 at the moment.
Ooh, it's a good thing you used that. He fails miserably. The merfolk suddenly stops thrashing in his cage and then looks at you with wide eyes.
I also am, before I go in, I'm going to change myself into a merfolk.
Okay.
Well, at least I look like one.
Did you want her to use See the Heart beforehand so that you know what's most important to him?
Do I know you can do it from a distance?
Did
No.
you know you can do that at all?
No, she'll offer.
She goes, what do you mean? How does it work?
I mean, I'll stand right here, and I'll look into his heart and see what he most values.
That would be extremely helpful. Thank you.
16.
Oh, it's your insight versus his passive deception. So, that's say on there. It's right there. So his passive deception, his charisma is garbage.
Ooh.
So you succeed.
Yay! What does she see?
You see that he is a racist towards land people. That's first. You see that he is an adventurous soul. That's second. And the third one you see is a love of animals. That's third.
She would convey that information to you.
Sorry, say that again, please. Love of animals.
Racist.
Racist towards land dwellers and loves adventure. When she does that, does she have any chance to see if there's any hint of strange dark power in there too? Or does she just
You don't
see
see
that there's
anything
three?
beyond those three things.
Okay. Before she goes in, June will... I'm assuming I have to actually cast a spell to change into a merfolk, correct?
No, you can maiden a merfolk.
Okay. June will
Very beautiful merfolk.
pause for a moment. Actually, she chooses the wizened...
Sage?
yeah.
Okay, you're an old man merfolk.
Actually, she takes the advisor one.
You're a sharp chin merfolk.
Okay. So June will pause a moment and she goes, don't be alarmed, she says to the room in general. And she closes her eyes and just does this. And suddenly her entire body just melts into that of a merfolk.
A red-scaled priestess.
Yeah, Yuffie steps back about 2 paces.
What the hell? Or what in the pits? Jania says. She's gonna
Did I not just say don't be alarmed?
You didn't tell us what you were going to do.
yeah, hard to do.
We fight them all the time.
You knew it was me.
Might be a merfolk trick, she says.
She
What,
just
like
kind
this
of
is what she actually looks like?
she just looks over and kind of just goes.
Could be.
It's probably really weird to see a droll and unamused look on a merfolk's face right now.
It's actually hard. Their faces don't move like that normally.
Yeah, especially considering it's also June's voice coming out right now.
Yeah.
All right, now.
You sound a little gurgly. As you walk in and charm his mind, he is going to stop. Let me out, he says.
I can't yet. It's possible that you are the traitor.
He says, No, not me. I did not betray, he says.
Take me through the events.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Much better. 24.
As you
What does Charm Monster do for me exactly?
makes him friendly to you.
Okay, cool.
The merfolk is going to look at you and begin to recount the events. His baron came to him, said that there would be a raid, told him that they were after barrels that shook with sand, black sand. He went along with it. The leadership had been told by the Empress to attack this village and gather the barrels, and then they would go south with them. They killed many villagers. There was a tough one that they stabbed down, and they slaughtered many, but they kept getting in the way and had implements of war, he says. He describes rakes and pieces of wood, but they didn't know what a weapon of war for a landfolk looked like, so they just killed them. And then they knew where the Baron charged a wall, and it broke away. And inside this secret wall was barrels, and they took them and gave them to what he calls them the Grayskins.
Where were you to take them?
He already said. All he knows was south.
Okay. Does he mention that there were more downstream?
He says that they brought 40.
How many did we kill?
You killed 5 plus 10, 11, 12.
And then how many bodies did we find in town? Basically, I'm trying to glean how many is left over.
6.
Probably half their force left.
It's unfortunate.
Indeed.
Their goal was to get away with the powder over everything else.
It's actually fortunate, she supposes, that one did get downstream. Because it means that they know that it either failed, and they got all that they could, and so they probably won't come back. However, she nods.
He says, our forces will be back for the rest. Count on it.
Who leads the rest?
He says, there is a young two-arm. He is vying for Baron status.
She looks disdainful.
He says his name is Iktok.
Where is he?
Where? How far downstream?
He doesn't know. They'll get the barrel to safety and then they'll come back.
Did you have any ways of passing messages amongst yourselves?
He shakes his head.
I see.
Except the priestess who died. And you, he says.
She nods.
I didn't remember there being 2 priestesses with us. Were you with the other force?
The barons did not wish to share all information with them. What?
He says, you're from the cold water. I'm from warm water, he says. Will you let me free now?
We shall see.
He looks thoughtful when you leave.
She, once we get outside, she goes,
Lasts for an hour. So I'm down for an hour.
okay, she goes. So, he never could tell, he just knows because the Baron told him that that's how they knew it was here.
The Baron ran the wall. That was all.
No, but the whole reason it came here was because of that.
Yes, they were trying to get the barrels of gunpowder.
And the only person who knew that was the Baron.
Yes, correct.
She goes, we need to question the Baron. Can you speak to them one day?
Give me 5 questions. That's all we can get out of it.
Does he answer yes or no, or more elaborate answers?
And
1 second.
do you question him? Or do they have to understand the language?
Do you know how they knew the barrels were there?
That is why we need to speak with the Baron.
And did they say anything about any other force left over?
They did.
The corpse only knows the languages that deal in life. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer.
Did you ask the creature? She pauses. Did you ask him about his Empress's dark deal?
Why would I?
I've just never had the opportunity to have someone who spoke merfolk, and I've always been curious about it.
I need an out-of-game question because I know the answer to this, I just can't remember it. Not that question, but like, what is the dark deal again?
You only know that there was one.
We don't know the specifics, I don't think.
That the Merfolk Empress is working with creatures of darkness.
Gotcha.
That's it.
She goes, this one is just a peon.
I wonder if the Baron knows.
So you basically generate a copy of its soul, which then answers questions as it would.
Is he the only one who can do it?
No, so you can speak to it.
Okay, good.
Isaac says that you will be speaking to it, but it can be fickle, so think carefully about what you ask it.
Well, then let us decide what we wish to ask it.
I'd like to know how they got the information of the
Agreed.
gunpowder going to Aragoth.
If I remember correctly, the spell you are using, they aren't compelled to tell the truth?
That's a problem.
It would be like talking to it as if it were still alive.
It says you would note that if you are hostile to it or it recognizes you as an enemy, it will not answer.
So, good thing I look like him.
Yeah.
Rollins. Bali is down, and you see Jania and Bali and Triss all sort of like nervously looking at you.
She looks extremely calm.
Captain! Dom yells down. The villagers are offering us supplies. What should I respond?
What supplies do they offer?
Ropes, he says. Generic supplies and rations.
Tell them to keep it and use it to rebuild.
He says, there's a ranger among them, wants to talk with you. Says he has important information.
Bring him on board, but hold him up there for a moment.
Sorry, Captain.
I do want to come down here. That'd be a bad idea.
Yeah. So as you walk out, Isaac shuts and then locks the door behind you. And then you're going to see him walk up to the Baron's corpse and pull out a small black stone with a red eye that's creepily organic looking in the center of it. And the eye flits open and begins to glow, and then the body animates and it stands up.
June, you recognize over there a sin stone made by Satan in the early times.
You see June's eyes wide. Well, you see the merfolk's eyes get wider.
And they already are.
Yeah.
He quickly puts it back away and he steps back into the shadows so that the merfolk doesn't.
Actually, she will gesture all of you to step out of sight.
You see the ghost of
She
a
gestures
great
to her.
merfolk forearm rise up out of the corpse. It hovers, hung by what looks to be a cord invisible around its shoulders. It sways. Silent.
May I ask a question of the spellcaster before this happened?
Yes.
How much can they answer? Is there a time limit?
The answers are usually short.
Okay, so saying, explain what happened?
It would say it as shortly as possible or wouldn't answer.
Gotcha. She goes, how did you learn of the existence of the
Black sand.
of the Sand barrels is what they called it. She would
Black
explain
sand
it the exact same way that the guy in the cage said it.
Some barrels that shook with sand.
Yes, of the barrels that shake with sand. We wish to make sure no one else can do so.
His dead eyes look down at you. He opens his mouth. He says, "We receive magic sending words from the Empress."
So if there's no way we can help, we're going to find that information out. Did we have another question we wanted to ask?
You got 4 more?
Yep.
Where are the rest of the forces would be nice to know.
We already know they're downstream, right?
Yeah.
So where? Where do they regroup?
Where downstream to the south did the forces regroup after the attack?
What's the guy's name again?
Okay.
There's a name of that merfolk who was leading the other group. His group.
Iktok.
Ikatok? Was that the one downstream?
Yes.
She
The
was
2
Ikatok's
ones.
group.
Land where water is ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
that
that's-
could be helpful.
They could already be dead.
I have another plan for that. Okay, did we have another question?
I mean, what was to be done with the black powder?
I seriously doubt they would know this answer.
They
Also,
said that they were handing it over to somebody.
who were you planning to hand the barrels over to so that we may get the one that did escape there?
We would use it as charges on ships. That's a very strange answer to use. Merfolk hate people tools.
Which ships?
Whatever ship went by.
One more.
I want to know about the deal.
Do we have another question that is relevant right now? Because I do as well.
I know.
That being said, I don't think there's another relevant one. Oh, actually, I do. How long would it take before they regroup to attack again? She asks that.
If you're already here, then now.
I came ahead when I saw the explosions.
His spirit falls away.
You hear Isaac laugh and he says, "It takes some practice. The dead are never the talkative type."
I know.
This is spooky.
You
Johnny
seem...
says.
You get the sense that June has probably used spells like that before.
Okay.
And she's just annoyed at herself for falling prey to something stupid.
Anything useful.
Captain,
Yes.
can we get this corpse out of my bedroom?
Wait, we're not in your bedroom.
We're in the bridge.
Oh, yes, we are.
No, we wouldn't have done this in front of the other guy.
Ah.
Okay.
We are
can
in
we
our
get
bedroom.
this? Can we get this merfolk out of the bridge?
Well, not yours, but everybody else's.
Not mine.
Shut up. We can go put it in yours.
Please don't leave it on my deck.
The Baron marches himself to the edge and throws himself off.
He falls into the water.
No?
Burn it.
Oh. Well, it's too late now.
Jesus. Hopefully, it won't be a problem.
Alright. So, what's your new information?
I didn't see it happen up top. I guess he walked upstairs. She is going to change back into...
I hope you walked it upstairs, Sarah.
What are we doing? Dom says.
Because that.
Scaring the hell out of the town. Scaring the pits out of the townsfolk? He says.
That probably wasn't the best plan.
She'll go up to the deck as well to meet with the ranger.
Yeah, I changed back into myself.
He's kind of like a little off put. You're the captain?
That's me.
My name is Rolf, he says. Rolf Ricepath. He goes to shake your hand.
She shakes it. She's a firm grip.
As you speak with him, he goes, I heard that you all were traveling in the forest, headed down the stream. I wanted to tell you, I've been a ranger in these woods all my life, but the past few days I've seen some pretty disturbing signs of large prey animals. Something very big, he says. I've seen trees torn and twisted up, things big enough that a dragon might have difficulty with them.
What do you suspect they are?
I don't know, but I can show you its feet, he says. He's going to pull out a piece of paper, and it's a little wet, but he kind of unravels the scroll and shows you a three-toed, it has a third or fourth toe on the back heel, or it could be a pointed bit on the back.
So it's 3 and then 4th
Yes.
on the back? Okay.
Right. It's very, he says, this footprint's a little shorter than I am.
Can I roll something to see if I recognize it?
You do not.
Okay.
It's like a crow's feet.
He describes that it was about this deep in the ground.
Oh, dear Lord.
So it must
Where?
be as heavy as an elephant.
Where?
He describes about 12.5 miles up north, and then he's seen them on the upper ridge going to the east. He says that it disappears near the river every time. So whatever it is, it retreats to the water. He says, I wanted to warn you, see your boat.
Well, that's interesting.
Also, Rowan Tarkin is on your ship.
Didn't you come upstairs with us?
Oh, were you upstairs?
I assumed we all went up to go here.
She went onto the deck to go talk to the ranger. I don't know what everybody...
Oh, I thought
I
you were.
followed you.
Oh, okay, I would have followed you then.
I wanted to know what the guy said too, especially considering I'm sure it will affect whatever she wants to
I
do.
thought you stayed down with
Since
the other.
she's pulling the ship is the only way card.
I thought you stayed down with the other charmed merfolk guy.
Isaac has negative knowledge about wildlife, so he's just like,
I don't know
sounds
much.
big.
It's not familiar to me.
He's going to kind of
Actually,
wave
pretty
to
good
like
nature,
a young
but-
half-elf boy on the shoreline. He's going to like rap on the ship. This is my son, Call, he says. He was a really big fan of Roland. If we could just say hi. The kid is like literally so hyped. You see that he
If
has,
you yell down to me, I'll come up.
You said you came up.
Well, I guess for the sake of us being here, I won't be happy with it right now.
Okay. June will actually go down. She'll say, hey, they need you upstairs.
Okay.
She's not going to let you in.
He would have been. I guess he would have been standing, waiting for you to come back down and talk to the merfolk. So he'll come back upstairs.
You're public. And she gestures.
this young half-elf boy with his elven father, he's going to come up towards you. He reminds you, honestly, a lot of what you used to look like in the mirror about 14 years ago. He comes up towards you and he goes, "Sir, you're my hero." And he sticks out his hand towards you and says, "I've trained to be like you every day of my life."
He's gonna crouch down and shake his hand.
"I know you're on a very important mission, so I'll take over the defense of this town while you're gone," he says.
Oh.
Yuffie would have watched that whole exchange.
"My son has a strong fate," Hall says.
What is it?
Or, I'm sorry, Rawl. He's going to, just blurt it out right to you right then. He goes, "The strength of the sky resides in your eye. Let the clouds be a bellwether if you stand alone or fight together. Dark and ominous means your might is bottomless, but white and bright best take flight." So
That
during a
kid would've been
storm,
a powerhouse during my monsoon.
Yeah.
he says, "During the storm, I fought off a giant," he says. "But
Oh,
if
how-
it's good weather, I can't do very much."
How old are you?
I'm 13, sir.
When I was your age, I started taking this really seriously, too.
He says, ever since I was 5 and I saw your picture, I've taken it seriously. You see my muscle? He says as he kind of pulls up his shirt and shows you his muscles.
It's impressive. It's hard to get being
I bought your book about your training routine. I've been doing it every day, he says. I don't have a dragon, but I've got a donkey.
Say you don't really need a steed, but you're on your way, man.
Euphemia's going to approach. She's going to just, rudely interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
You say that during a storm you can fend off almost anything.
I don't know about anything, but I'm very strong, that's for sure. I've lifted a wagon, he says.
And fought off a giant.
I threw rocks at it, he says. Boulders.
I was gonna
It
say.
threw them at me, and I caught them. He looks like, yeah, it was awesome.
And you think you could fight off many foes at once with that?
I don't know. I've only ever fought the giant, he says.
Thank you, she says, and turns around and goes downstairs.
June actually has a little mirror out, and she is talking into it, and she's speaking a language pretty much sincerely doubt any of you guys have ever heard.
Okay. Who are you speaking to?
Unless
What language is it? Just out again.
you don't know.
Okay.
Jane, it's getting crazy. We've had some really odd calls, she says.
How so?
She says, you know the village of Candle?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the farmers' cows in Candle, they just became invisible overnight. Seems to be no reason for it, she says. And one of the temples in Alirna crumbled into a perfect pile of bricks.
Which one?
She says, the Temple of the Mountain High. She says it killed half a dozen people inside. And all of the bricks piled up into perfectly neat piles.
Odd.
She goes, and then a boy in Selenox suddenly began to speak every race that he didn't speak, and forgot every race he did know, or forgot every language he did know.
She looks vaguely horrified at that thought, especially if it's happening to her. And
Then fishermen and Bridgewalk have reported that non-winged fish are just starting to fly up in schools into the air and soar away.
so, anything else? Anything
Says-
hazardous so far?
Just weird. Not hazardous. I mean, except for the temple. That did kill a few people, she says.
Was the temple fated?
No.
Was the area?
No.
Interesting.
Are you all okay? How's it going?
She gives a very quick update of what happened, specifically about the hero who died and what his fate was.
So you think that Yanjasi's state, whatever it is causing these issues?
Maybe. If it was more specifically dealt with fate, then perhaps, but the events you've explained to me, they don't sound... Well, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before.
If you don't know, what chance do we have?
I do have something that's paramount that needs to be done.
What is it?
I need a hero here.
I'll see who has wishes.
Anywhere near, around, or... How long would it take to get somebody from Alirna to here?
3 days.
3 days?
Yes.
She goes, if you can get them to Alirna.
Alright, we are going to use your ability to call on the help of your godmothers.
That was my hope.
So we
I'm trying everything I can.
So you roll a D100. On a roll of 1 to 20, they are going to find, whoever she calls upon will suddenly find themselves in need of aid. On a 21 to a 40, the person is currently completing a very difficult task that they must finish. And on a 41 to 100, they're able to jump in and help.
Can I use my inspiration?
I will allow a roll of inspiration on this, yes.
Alright, here we go.
You want one of my dice?
I got it.
Okay.
Come on, give me a 1. Come on, give me a 1. Oh my! I got a 1!
Shit!
Oh, 1 is bad.
No, you said 1. It
I
was.
said 1 to 20,
Well,
they're
wait.
in need of aid themselves.
Wait, wouldn't that be 100?
No, that's a
No,
1.
for me, that's a 1.
You can re-roll though, can't you? Because of
Yes.
inspiration.
1 is
Yes.
bad.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh.
No, high is good.
Oh, I thought you said 1.
40,
Okay,
41,
well.
I feel like you willed that one into existence.
Alright, come on,
Yeah.
give me 100. Come on, give me 100. 67.
67 is enough.
Boom.
All right.
Use the mirror if you must.
You will receive back your mirror vibrates a few minutes later. She says, one of our agents in the area has found, she says, the hero Julkin. He's going to be heading that way as soon as possible.
How long?
Upriver like that.
Is he in Aluna?
Yes, she says. We're looking 3.5 days.
Are there any godmothers around that can help him speed his travel through wishes?
The one who recruited him will, she says. She'll give a good wind to the sails.
So how long can I guess?
2.5 to 3 days, probably.
It will be faster than us going. Excellent. She looks so relieved right there. She's like, good. Keep me appraised. Do it now.
Okay.
Anything else to update?
No, that's it.
Good. Thank you. I don't know if anybody comes in on this conversation or they're looking at her oddly.
Euphemia was coming down to you, so...
Yeah, so you
Can you
see
only
her.
do this like once a day or something?
No.
You just do this?
This is, yeah.
God, that's crazy.
Oh, wait, you mean like getting aid?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I think it's just one of my godmother things.
Yeah, it's one for godmother things.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Head godmother.
Okay. She just says this. She goes, by the light.
It is once per day. She has to be in a major urban center or important godmother location.
Okay.
Euphemia would probably step up near the end of that.
She goes, all right, keep me appraised. And she closes the mirror and puts it in her pocket. I found a hero.
How long?
2.5 days to arrive. Faster than if we go and have to come back and convince them.
That was well played.
Do you say that?
Yes.
She goes,
Under her breath.
you see her kind of cover a smile.
Odd question. Are you able to make it storm for a couple of days?
Unfortunately, no. My spell, what you saw above, only lasts a maximum of 8 hours, and I can't do it again for a while.
Well, that's a disappointment.
Now, the hero that you have brought is a hero for hire. So,
I'm
you will need
planning to
money.
explain it. And you know what? They offered us money. I'm sure they'll offer him money. So I'm going to go talk to him. She goes, we need to go speak with that woman with the checkbook again. What was her name again? I would have remembered
Dory
it.
Plumknuckle.
We need to go talk with Dory Plumknuckle.
That's such a good
I
half
assume
name.
this hero will need payment. Very well.
They offered to pay us. They should be fine to pay them.
I'm still confused as to what exactly we'll do to protect this village until someone arrives.
Considering we would have had to have left them to their own devices for 4 days anyway. this is even faster.
It's improvement.
As you go to speak with Clara again, she will tell you that, well, at the price of your average hero, we can afford his services for a week and a half, she says. That should be more than enough time.
Her eye twitches and she goes, I will pay him to stay for 6 months. In that time, you all will form a militia. You will learn how to defend yourselves and stop relying on one hero to take care of you.
She goes, but one ascended is worth a militia.
Yes, and if something happens to that one hero, and no other heroes are helping along, you have to learn how to take care of yourselves. You cannot beg help from everyone who comes near you. That is both weak and foolish, and dangerous.
Give me an intimidation check.
You tell him.
15.
15 total.
Mm-hmm.
We will put it up with the council and see if they are amenable to it. But I do not make all the decisions for the town. Neither does the elder.
We can speak to the council ourselves before we leave, if we must.
I will pass along your message, but at the moment I'm afraid that we must prioritize the mourning of our dead.
If you are not going to prioritize your safety, why should we?
That is very cruel.
It is, but life is cruel.
Do we not even have time to burn and bury our corpses?
You should, but first we do have to leave.
Then go.
She looks at you. Do my plans meet with your satisfaction, Captain?
I'll speak in private.
All right. You're back on the ship.
I understand the urgency of this mission. Is there nothing we can do to get someone else here? Everything you've described to me indicates the merfolk could be back tonight. There is no protection, no spell. You're both spellcasters. All three of you are. There's nothing you can do.
Oh, I'm not here. I'm hanging out with the kid.
Go hang out with the kid. I'm sorry.
Roland, you are led to a milliner named Makes Hats and his meek family, who are very concerned about their safety. None of his family died.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If Clover stayed here, could he keep an eye on them?
Clover can keep an eye on them. Clover cannot fight a battalion of merfolk.
No, but he could at least help them get to safety? Or
At the
maybe...
expense of their town, yes.
Is there a place they... Okay. She pauses and she goes, there has to be some place these people go in times of peril. I wonder if there's a cave or something near here they can hole up in until the time.
That's not a bad idea.
The Rangers would probably know the answer to that. That being said, I have an ally who can stay behind. He cannot protect against an entire invading force, but he can at least keep an eye on them.
Can he guide them to safety? Needs must.
To that place, if they have one, yes.
It's better than nothing.
She looks extremely unhappy with doing this, but she also is fully aware that you aren't going to let us leave until this happens.
All right. You will learn a couple of things. Obviously, the town is very concerned about Alkenfinn's death. You all will learn from Rawl, Thricepath, that they did have a cave, but he found the markings of the great footprints near that cave. So they can't go to it anymore.
How big is the cave?
The cave was large enough for the entire town to fit in.
I mean the entrance.
Big enough for a dragon to get through.
What about farther back?
He
Is there
says,
any way they could barricade the entrance?
since they don't know what the creature is, they can't be assured that it can't fit. Also, it seems squat, not tall.
Is there a way they could barricade the entrance?
Not against something that big. I mean, if a rhino charged the barricades, they're going to give way.
Are there no spellcasters among the townfolk?
None of any talent.
June looks so annoyed right now. Although, I don't know. It's actually, I suppose it would probably be hard to pin an emotion on her, but you can guess she's probably really pissed off at the moment.
Do you summon Clover?
She is going to go off by herself for a bit, and she will do so.
Alright, you go off by yourself. Euphemia, you are going to be approached by Hero. I thought that a godmother would be nicer, he says.
You'll find few people with much power are very nice, Hero. The more power you get, the crueler you become with it sometimes.
I wanted to say, I'm sorry for your loss.
My loss?
You lost your mother and father recently.
What?
Your sorrow. You're so sad all the time. It's the loss of family.
How? What do you know?
What do you mean?
What do you know?
That's all I know.
How?
I'm a meek. I'm empathic. It rolls off you.
It was...
I'm sorry, am I wrong?
only in the timeline. It's complicated.
Family usually is.
She starts laughing way harder than she should with that, and it sounds slightly hysterical.
Hero's sort of like...
Thank you for your condolences.
He nods.
Do you know of anything we could do to protect this town? At this point...
I don't know. I don't think so.
You know...
I just wish we could teleport or something to one of these places.
I'm surprised that amongst all the spellcasters there's not some kind of spell to protect these people for some time. But I'm not terribly learned in the way of magic.
Master, the godmother seems rather tricksy, doesn't she?
That's one way to put it.
She's...
What makes you say it this time?
Well, first, she fooled you into being complacent by healing me, he says. So we must be wary of that.
I
And
see.
then she changed form, which means she could have looked like any one of the many hundreds of women you brought into the estate.
Somehow she doesn't pass by me as that kind of person.
Well, she didn't pass by me as a cruel bitch. So, the group is on the ship. You all are talking together. Bali is going to whisper to Euphemia, do you know what's going to happen?
I think we're going to end up leaving soon. That's what I think.
Okay, go ahead.
June will come downstairs at that point. She says, "Is everybody here?"
Appears so.
What are we doing with this merfolk? Johnny asks.
Oh, I guess we can kill it and get rid of it.
On it.
What?
She just wanted to reach her hand around in his chest. It's fine.
She goes, she actually looks at you and goes, "I don't suggest we set him free."
Oh, no. I was just curious. That's all.
She nods. All right. I have managed to contact some of my organization, and we have worked out a way to get a hero here in a few days. Faster than we would if we went and came back. His name is Jolkin. Jolkin. I'm assuming people know this name.
Roland would. Yeah.
Do I like him?
You don't really know.
The hero Jolkin is on his way here, aided by a godmother to get him here more quickly.
And until then?
Until then... Clover, if you would.
Your hair begins to blow around, and you will suddenly see what appears to be a visible mass of wind with rather menacing eyes form up in the hold.
He can at least hold them off until the villagers can get away. The cave, while possibly near wherever that creature is roaming, would at least be a defensible location they can hide in for the time. I've also learned a few more things. Very strange things have been happening in the world so far. In Bridgewalk, fish that could... What was it? Fish that could fly?
Fish that have no wings.
Yes, she goes. Fish are suddenly flying without wings. A boy up in Salinox suddenly can speak all languages except for the ones that he used to know. A temple in Alirna completely collapsed, put into perfect piles of bricks, and a number were killed in the happening. And then there's the circumstance of the hero who was here.
Meaning?
I don't have proof yet, but I have a sneaking fear that whatever happened with Yinjasi is affecting fates in the world.
You mean affecting individual fates?
Yes. I fear that the longer this goes on, the more widespread and the more damage can be done. Which is why I'm trying so hard to get there. I know you want to help these people, and I know you think I am cold and cruel for not wanting to do so right now. If I could, I would. If I had a spell that would save every last one of them, I would do it this instant. But I do not. I have done everything within my power to get someone here as quickly as possible while we continue the mission that fate screamed out in pain to assign us.
You don't need to give me the monologue. She
I think
sits
I
back.
do. I know you want to help them. It's clear. It's written all over your face. It's in your heart.
You know nothing of my heart.
I saw your face when you saw the little boy, the little girl.
Affecting our fates, huh?
Yes. At least that is my fear.
She looks uncomfortable with the thought. We've done all we can.
Sorry. This is Sarah laughing right now, not June.
We
We have done all we can. I see how it is.
Does anyone else bring a fight?
Yes,
Does anyone
she
fight?
looks at Hero next, because he was the next person to argue.
Hero just wraps his arms together and looks hurt. guess we have. He says.
She looks at Isaac, and she looks at you last because she knew you already agreed with her.
Isaac just shakes his head and walks below deck. You have him convinced.
Then she glances at the crew to see their reactions.
All right, come on, let's get those sails down, Molly yells. Glaby, start giving this word. The ship breaks away from the Oak Edge docks.
Can I roll an insight check to see your feelings other than the response to fate? More about in regards to her. She already has one.
I have one already.
Oh, give that back.
Sure, you can insight.
DC?
I think I won. We haven't
Oh my
fought
god,
yet,
I
so
don't remember where that is.
No, you make it up.
Oh.
we haven't fought
You
since I
said
had
it for
it.
what you think that I would need to know.
Give it to me after the thing.
Probably no more than a 15.
I succeed. I got a 19. Specifically towards your trust about her is what she's looking at.
She was somewhat convinced by your monologue as much as she tried not to show it. And she's angry, but not really at you.
Okay.
She's pissed at circumstance.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Pissed as f*** at circumstance.
Okay, that was really her concern. Since we have to work together, she was mostly concerned about that.
Yeah, that fucking monologue was great. She was like, yeah.
As you guys continue, you reach your 10th day and gain another chaos. Do you all take an extended rest on your journey?
Yes.
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 Wait,
Okay.
I have to ask.
Yeah.
Do we roll for more chaos per person taking a rest, or is it just...
It's just the rest.
Okay.
One roll, one rest.
Yep.
All right, I'll roll. 9. No, it's 10 or below. You gain 1. 11 or above, you don't. 10 or below, you gain 1. You gain a guess.
Can I use my inspiration?
No.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, it was worth the time.
So that puts us to 4 or 3?
4 chaos, yes. That's
Okay.
right. And you know what? You did a lot of planning for the holding up the town, so I'll let you roll. Same roll, but instead of failing, gain chaos. Failing, you don't. Nothing happens. Succeeding, you lose a chaos.
Okay.
So I'll give you a 50% chance. Roll. Either one.
10 or above.
18.
Yeah. You lose a chaos.
Huzzah!
Back to 3. This
didn't-
was the.
we
This
didn't
is
totally abandon
my
it.
favorite fight. I'm just. I
What?
love knocking numbers off a board. That's my favorite fight.
Actually, I'm kind of with you on that one.
All right. Several days are going to pass downriver. And while there will be plenty of talking, I would like to get to a specific part before we end. You all, about 3 days before you reach the Crystal Forest, you are going to see about a mile off the river's edge, so tall and towering that it easily soars high over the trees, as though a skyscraper were built in the middle of the forest. You see what looks to be a wall of plant matter, risen up, I guess about 800 yards tall. And it is burning with a intense red fire.
Where is this?
About a mile off river to the north.
Do its feet look like it would fit the creature feet that we were getting
It
reports
is a
about?
wall of plant matter.
Yeah.
You can't see
okay.
its feet below the tree line.
Okay. I
If it even
misunderstood.
has feet, it's probably just a wall.
I was like, the wall of
It could be
plant matter
plant
has
matter with
feet?
feet.
How wide or?
Where did you get her feet?
So
It could
it
be
is
a
about
giant plant
800
monster.
yards tall, and it's about 2 houses next to one another wide.
So it's just like a jut of fire.
So the plant wall is on fire at about the midpoint of the wall's height. And the fire is eating into it very slowly with this thick, black smoke roiling off the flame.
Is the plant wall supposed to be there?
When you see the wall, your immediate thought would turn to the Lord of Nature, Krator.
Mm-hmm.
It would require a fight for him to make something so massive.
If he's doing it, I don't want to be there. And
There
I think
is
that
nothing there. You would see Krator from this distance
Okay.
if you were there.
Okay, so does it look like it's the leftovers from a fight?
It does.
Okay.
What in the hell is that? Bolly says. The pits.
Am I up there?
All of you can see this.
She goes,
Yeah.
My guess, that is the remnants of a battle from Krator.
Do you think you won?
Oh, I sincerely doubt he lost.
Who do you think he was fighting?
Well, I don't know.
Roll an Arcana check. We'll see if you can answer that question.
My immediate thought was Kazor, but I think more would be on fire.
I can roll. Or
With
just her?
disadvantage, yes.
You want to aid me?
I'll just aid her. Because Isaac is wondering what can possibly go toe-to-toe with Krator.
27. No, 26. Sorry, I can count.
So upon seeing the strange red flame, you know something terrible has occurred. Because it is Kazor's flame.
Ah! No! Okay, then she probably wouldn't be quite so calm. She goes, my guess is Kazor.
That's not good.
It should be impossible, in fact. Krator's territory is the strongest of all dragons, and Kazor is fated to never cross into their territory.
She goes, I fear that I might have been right. She takes a shaky breath. About something with fate going very dreadfully wrong. Kazor should never be able to enter into the nether of the dragon's territories. His fate is literally not to be able to do so.
Why isn't war on fire?
Because it would seem the battle's over. We would see Krator and Kazor if they were still here.
Kazor's flame lasts many times longer than an average fire.
And then she'll say that.
But it also burns what it touches to ash in a matter of moments.
But
normally.
it's versus Krator, so...
Correct.
Which is why she believes it's him. She will explain that.
It is possible that there could be clues about what happened in the area.
I don't think we have time right now. She will not suggest that unless somebody else brings it up, and then she's going to suggest not.
Perhaps we could get some insight as to what's happening with fate if we went and looked. Doesn't
Perhaps
seem
we
to be
should
too far
simply
out of the way.
Continue on to where Yanjasi is. Not to mention, that flame must be very hot.
So the flame is about 400 yards in the air.
Yeah, and I'm sure bits of it are falling off. And who knows what's on the ground.
I suppose it's not every day you get to see two of the dragons duking it out, or the aftermath at least.
I've seen it before. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
I don't know if I believe that.
Regardless, if we could leave a bunch of helpless villagers, I think we can pass up a mystery.
True.
Yeah.
She actually nods.
He kind of smiles like that was kind of a jab at all of us.
It was. She included herself in that.
She nods like she totally understands. She clearly is just like not letting that phase her the way you said.
All right. So the characters continue to travel onwards down towards the Crystal Forest, their next stop. So we will go ahead and end it there for the time being. Thank you, Noble Heroes, for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, please give us a like and a subscribe down below. And make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified of any of our future videos. We really appreciate it. And I hope you have a good day. Have a good time. Bye.